Hi everyone, it's Liam here from Rating the Races. So, by the time you watch this, probably Cheltenham has finished. I am recording this just before the Gold Cup. We've got about 20 minutes till the Gold Cup. Alright, so I need to get a shift on. So, let's have a look at some of the racing tomorrow. So, Cheltenham's over, but that doesn't mean we stop looking at races. There's a few decent races tomorrow. And the ratings are actually going to be free tomorrow for everyone because they weren't free today for Gold Cup Day. I changed my mind on how we were going to do it this year. Instead of it being on the Friday, we're going to let the Saturday's racing be free. There's still some good races. There's a decent card at Kempton. There's the Midlands National at Uttoxeter. So hopefully lots to get stuck into for everyone. So let's go through some of the races. Would like to start in the 210 at Kempton over 2 mile 5. And I will be going for a horse that I really like for this race, to be honest. And that is Good Look Charm. I was keeping an eye on him last time when he ran at Sandown, and they completely changed the ride. So they stepped him up in trip, and they changed the ride from what they'd done at Kempton, for example, when they'd been really prominent. In the Lanzarote, when he ran a really good race for fourth, just got tired late on. And then they went to Sandown, they stepped him up in trip, but they dropped him right out the back. I actually don't think that really worked. I think they wanted to be a bit more prominent, or maybe the step up in trip didn't actually suit him. Now, this is a slightly easier race than the Lanzarote Hurdle, for example. This is, I think easier than the Virgin Burt Heroes Handicap Hurdle as well. I think this is an easier race. He runs off the same mark of 117. Ben takes 3 off. And you can see that he's got this really high figure, which was over this course and distance. I don't see why he's not going to run another very big race. And it wouldn't surprise me if they slightly tinker with his way of running again, his race style. I think they might hold him up this time, or at least not go forward and lead, and maybe try and finish strongly. I think I don't see any reason why he's not going to run a really big race. 3 runs ago, he actually ran in what I believe is a brilliant handicap when he was third behind Nurse Susan and Martha Devine. Both of them have not been seen since. As you know, I'm really keen on Nurse Susan. I'll be keeping my eye out for Martha Devine as well. I just want to have a look. How did the fourth get on next time? The fourth must have come out, surely. Wind to the Lightning. Wind to the Lightning has come out twice and actually disappointed twice. Went to a Mares Listed Hurdle straight after that. Went off 3-1 for a Mares Listed Hurdle, and then went to Wetherby and disappointed in a handicap. But as I said, I think Good Look Charm he's very progressive still. I think back to Kempton, no issues there. I think he's going to run a very big race, and I'm surprised. I thought he'd be nearly favourite for this. Currently, he's not. Currently, he's 9s. You can comfortably, I don't know why my voice went up there. You can comfortably get 9-1 about Good Look Charm, and I fully expect him to run another big race. Moving on to the 225 at Uttoxeter, the Bet365 Hurdle, and there was 2 that instantly caught my eye in this. 2 horses that I've said to look out for next time. Unfortunately, they both bump into each other. They were both our selections last time, and they are Lord Snooty and Supremely West. Now, I think both of those ran really good races last time when they were second, when things didn't go to plan initially, and then they ran on, they both looked well beaten, and then they absolutely flew at the finish for never near a second. Now, Lord Snooty, that was behind Cuthbert Dibble. That is really strong form. Cuthbert Dibble ran a really good race in the Pertemps final. I don't see any reason why Lord Snooty isn't going to go very, very close here. If we just have a look, Cuthbert Dibble ended up finishing 3rd in the Pertemps final. That is really good form. Yeah, he'd beaten Lord Snooty by half a length. He'd beaten Supremely West by 12 lengths. Granted, he kept going up in the handicap, so there's not a lot between them, but I just think Lord Snooty might be the better horse here, based on that he got beat by a very nice horse, whereas Supremely West wasn't beaten by as good a horse. It's still a nice one in Classic Concord, but Classic Concord actually reopposes here. And I think that's not quite a strong form, although the Potemps final winner, Montmirail, was actually in the race of Supremely West, finishing 4th. It's going to be out of those two. I think Jack Tudor will be on the board, the winner here. And you can just about get 5 still about Lord Snooty. Supremely West would be the danger. If you want to back them both, I think you'll have 2 great chances. I'm just doing Lord Snooty. 237 at Kempton. At Newcastle. I believe this is just, we're going to get a win into him now, aren't we? This is we're getting annoyed. We're just going to go and win a nothing race with Brentford Hope. I did look just to see if he was being aimed at the final. I don't think he is being aimed at the final. I think they're coming here to win it. And if he runs his best form, I think he wins this. If he runs anywhere near what he's been running recently, I think he'll win this. You can see he's got good R figures. I know Southside has, but that was before the layoff. You can see January 2023, April 2023, disappointed on return. You could certainly say that he could bounce back from that, but it's not like they've been, he's not been opened up a much shorter price or anything and thinking that he's back. Brentford Hope should take all the beating here at even money. Go back to Kempton for the 245 over 2.5 mile. Now, I think the key here is the trip. Personally, I think Phlegmatic is a better horse. Now, before I say what I'm going to say, I've been slated this year for suggesting horses haven't been trying in races or shouldn't be trying in races. Or I think I've said, he shouldn't win because then he goes up in the handicap. I suggested that about Stumptown, went up in the handicap, couldn't get in the Kinmure, went to the Ultima, pulled up. I suggested that about Phlegmatic 2 runs ago. Shouldn't be trying to win that because if he wins, goes up in the handicap, and that would hamper his chances in the Coral Trophy handicap back in February. He did win. He beat Chianti Classico. The form looked good. He went up £3. Tristan couldn't take 3 off, so he was effectively up 6 because Harry rode him. And he got beat. He finished 4th. I mean, they missed out on 85 grand there, I think, through winning a race previously worth 18 grand to the winner. So I think they missed out on a win there. Whereas maybe Chianti Classico, by not winning, helped him win the Ultima. So that's what I mean by that. And I've got a feeling I'm going to take on Phlegmatic again on the basis that they're not going to be trying as much here. I don't think the trip is perfect for him. He definitely wants the 3 mile trip. He's been running over 3 mile. The only time he actually dropped back to 2 mile 5 at Ascot in his last 10 runs, he didn't look quick enough. He ran well both times. Came into it right out the back. Couldn't get close enough to the front view or the front 2. And yeah, I think the 3 mile trip is what he actually needs. And I'm hoping that he just gets caught for a bit of pace here. The horse I will be selecting to take him on with is Outlaw Peter. Now, Outlaw Peter comes here a year after coming here for a handicap hurdle, which he won, beating the Bomber Liston. He won it quite comfortably. He went off the 3-1 favourite that day and made all of the running and was too good. Because of how Phlegmatic's going to be ridden, and because of how Outlaw Peter, I think, is going to be ridden, I think Outlaw Peter is going to get towards the front and be much closer to the pace than Phlegmatic. And Phlegmatic might be finishing, but I'm hoping we've already kicked away at that point. So my selection will be Outlaw Peter. He's got just as good a form, maybe not just as good a form, but he clearly likes Kempton as well. His second 2 runs ago behind Blow Your Wad is also very good form. Blow Your Wad's come out and won. What did he come out and won? Won the Grade 2, didn't he, at Kempton, at the Pendle, whilst the 4th horse, Copped Mask, has also come out and won. I think he's come out and won twice, I think, if it's that way round. He come out and won twice since then, and then fell at Sandown in a feature handicap. So I really like the form of Outlaw Peter just as much as I do for Phlegmatic, and I'm just hoping that we're in the right position with Phlegmatic. With Outlaw Peter, and Phlegmatic is just a bit too far back to close us down. And yeah, I just think Phlegmatic, did he go up again? He stayed off the same mark. I just think this trip might be slightly too short for him. Moving on to the 3 o'clock at Uttoxeter, the Midlands National. The horse I like here, it's got to be Iron Bridge, to be honest. I think he's favourite, or nearly favourite. Yeah, I think he's going to go off favourite. There's a few different horses that certainly have chances here. Mr. Incredible certainly has a chance. He's going to get in the Grand National. Is he in the Grand National? Let me just check that. That might sway my decision, actually, if he's not in. Like, he's currently rated 150. That gets him in the Grand National if he's got the entry. Let's have a look. I'm just looking at my other screen. He is in the Grand National. I think because of that, he's not going to be hard-ridden here. Mr. Incredible was still going well in the Grand National when unseating at the Canal Turn second time round. The saddle slipped and the jockey came off. He's not going to be putting everything in here. I think they've got a horse there that they think they can wait until the Grand National. Whereas Iron Bridge, does he have an entry? He does have an entry in the Grand National, but won't get his conditions. He won't get the soft and heavy that he loves. Last time out, I thought that was a perfectly fine run over 3 mile 4. I think this horse just wants as far can go. And the softer the ground, the better. He gets heavy going. He gets 4 miles too. I think that will stand him in really good stead. He was behind Nassalam, but obviously Nassalam was super impressive in the Welsh National. Iron Bridge finished second. If we actually go back to their previous run at Uttoxeter as well, Autonomous Cloud versus Iron Bridge. Iron Bridge was giving Autonomous Cloud £12 that day, and he lost by a head. Autonomous Cloud tomorrow, instead of it being £12, there is only £5. I can't see Autonomous Cloud reversing the form with Iron Bridge. I think Iron Bridge is the right one here, and I think he will take all of the beating. I know he doesn't officially have that course form to his name in terms of an actual win, but he did run a really good second behind Autonomous Cloud, and is better off at the weights. So Iron Bridge is my selection here to grind it out. I think he'll be finishing strongest of all, hopefully. Don't think he'll be doing much throughout the race, just plodding along. The next two are potential gambles, so to speak, or obviously when you're having a bet, you're always gambling. But they have form. It's whether that form is still correct or whether they've just lost it now completely. The first one that I'm going to select is the Changing Man at Uttoxeter, who comes back to the scene of his last win. When he last won here, he actually got in his write-up the words easily, nudged out, shaken up and went clear. You know, he won it really impressively. Yes, it was only a handicap hurdle. Yes, it was only off 109. Yes, he should definitely be winning that based on what he's now rated. But it does demonstrate that Uttoxeter isn't a course that will bother him, or it's a course that he should handle perfectly well. His best bit of form came at the beginning of the season, though, when he split Stay Away Faye and he beat Grey Dawning. He beat Grey Dawning in a beginner's chase. Grey Dawning's obviously massively stepped up from there, but maybe the Changing Man could get back to that sort of level now that he's running back at a course that we know he likes at Uttoxeter. After splitting those two, he went to the Betfair Esher Novices Chase in a race with Giovinco and Stay Away Faye. He then again came to Warwick for a Grade 2. This is the Changing Man. And only last time did he really disappoint when he went off the favourite at Exeter in a Novices Handicap. That said, he did make a very bad mistake about 4 out. That could be the difference between, and then he was looked after. If he was looked after and he gets back to that form at the beginning of the season, he would win this. I'd be confident of that, and I'm happy to take 8-1 about that. Back at a course that we know he likes. Heavy ground shouldn't be an issue. He won on soft, so I'm really hopeful of a big run from the Changing Man. The final selection I'm going to be on is in the 355 at Kempton, and you can see who it is. It's Captain Orr. He might get 2 more chances, but I think he might get 2 more chances because this is a qualifier, which is really frustrating. If it wasn't a qualifier and it was just this level, I'd be really, really keen on him, because they're clearly not looking at something else. This is the first time that he gets in off a weight that he's actually meant to carry for a little while. It's a much easier race than what he's been running in recently. I think he could win this and then win the final as well. The Challenger Staying Chase Series final. He's definitely better than, or was certainly better than a 118 horse. And he's running over the right trip. He's won over this distance. You know, he won the feature Coral Trophy a few years ago, beating Kitty's Light, Our Power, Enrillo, Galahad Quest. Much better race. He won that off 127. He runs here off 118. He is incredibly well handicapped. It's purely whether he's completely lost it now and, you know, he needs to be retired, or I might give him one more chance if he does end up running in the final. If he doesn't end up running in the final, I probably wouldn't be interested in him if he gets beat here. But it's all about that one more chance in a potential final, because it is worth a lot of money, that final, or a decent amount of money compared to this race, which is only worth £7,000. Even if he got beat here, he would still get in the final, because some quite low class horses can get in the final. I think 112 got in last year. He won't want to get beat by too far, but as I said, he's won off 127 here. He could easily win this, go up £5 to 123 and still turn up to the final looking very well handicapped. The final, I think, will be at Warwick this year, not at, where has it been the last few years? I can't remember. Haydock, I think, but it's likely to be at Warwick this year. Captain Orr is my final selection of the day, and he is available at 8 to 1. So just a quick recap. In the 210, I like Good Look Charm. Back here, I think they might do slightly different tactics, but his last two runs have been very good. 225 at Uttoxeter, I'm taking Lord Snooty. I think his second behind Cuthbert Dibble was very good form. And he also comes back to a track that he has at least, I think he's finished second in this race last year, and it's decent prize money. Let's just have a look. He ran that 152, yes, at this track. So yeah, Lord Snooty in that race. He is currently 5s. Brentford Hope should take all the beating and win this race. Hopefully go on to better things. Maybe go chasing next season. Outlaw Peter to be in a better position during the race than Phlegmatic and use his speed that I think he might have over Phlegmatic. Iron Bridge to just grind out the win in the Midlands National. The Changing Man to bounce back at Uttoxeter, now in a race that I think he can certainly win. And finally, Captain Orr, he could certainly win this race if he puts his best foot forward, and he's a decent price currently at 8 to 1.